Hey everybody, welcome back to Handsome Phantom here. I'm Dustin, alongside me, the most glorious Ginger, looking nice and Hawaiian fresh right now.
Thank you,
I like that. So E3 is just mere days away now.
So close.
Very exciting. Unfortunately, we're not there, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to report on some of the finest things going on at their conference. Is that right, Brandon?
That is correct.
Nothing holds us back here at Handsome Phantom. And so today we wanted to go over some of our E3 predictions and just some of our general thoughts of what could go down. Brandon, it's going to be a big show this year.
It's gonna be huge.
It's going to be interesting because it sounds like, first and foremost, what we've already talked about on this channel is that we're going to get new hardware.
Which is great. We've talked about it a bunch, and it looks like we're gonna get, if not released, some rumors about some hardware in the future.
Yeah, so I think the big thing of the show this year is going to be that PlayStation Neo. I think, personally, that this is going to be called the PlayStation 4K.
And I think that is a fantastic name for it. People have already actually been calling it,
So obviously, it's not going to be able to render all games at 4K natively, because that's just too far out there as far as processing power and things like that. But I think one of the big pushes is going to be the media type stuff for this box.
Some Ultra HD type DVD type thing is going on.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, a lot of people now have 4K TVs, but they don't necessarily have something to push those movies and stuff like that on. So I think the PlayStation 4K, they want that to be the box you go to.
Yeah.
You need a lot of processing power for all them pixels, and the PS4K is going to deliver. Now, as far as other things, I think we're going to see that Sony Bend game. Sony Bend, creators of Siphon Filter and that recent Uncharted game, Dead Don't Ride is what it's rumored to be called. Now, Brandon, you said you're a little down on the zombie potential.
Yeah. You know what? I'm a little bit burnt out on zombies for many reasons, but this might be cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
An open world zombie game, we've had things like that before, but who knows? A new IP is always interesting, and I'm willing to give it a shot.
It's been interesting. This game has been rumored for a long time. Obviously, we know Sony Bend's been working on something, but no one knows exactly what that is other than these couple rumors that have just recently come out. So potentially we're going to see Dead Don't Ride. Obviously, God of War 4. This has to be the conference, right?
Yeah, I mean, we already have the Uncharted. What else is big on Sony on PS4 is God of War. And let's hope that we're going to be seeing some Neo footage
That's
of God of War, right?
Exactly. My prediction here is that this is going to be the first game we're going to see the power of this new PlayStation. You're going to be like, here's the new God of War, and we're playing it on a PlayStation 4K, or whatever they decide to call it. That's not the official name necessarily yet.
And I think it's going to be fan-fucking-tastic, because as we know, God of War is great for these sprawling vistas and these giant, detailed monsters, and I think that is going to be a perfect way to kick off this new system.
Mm-hmm. Now, Brandon, I'm going to go a little far-fetched here.
Let's do it.
This is my most far-fetched prediction, but I don't give a shit. So, we've been teased and titillated with Crash Bandicoot, right?
Okay.
We've got the picture of him in one of the early PlayStation 4 trailers, the silhouette. We've had Sean Layden at PSX wearing that Crash Bandicoot shirt. We saw that live. No word of Crash there. Now we've got this Crash Bandicoot Easter egg in Uncharted. You know, something's got to be happening, and so I don't want to go as far as to say we're getting a new Crash game, right? Sony doesn't own the rights anymore. They'd have to work with Activision. It would be very confusing, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that we're going to see a re-release or remaster, maybe, of the original Classic 3 games.
I think that would be perfect. I think it would be a nice happy medium. It would wet the whistle of all the Crash Bandicoot fans because they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people want it, obviously. And with all the it just keeps getting more and more. First you get it in the video, and then it's like the shirt, and then it was like you could play a level.
You could play one level
in the new Uncharted.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It's time, I think. And,
it would be cool. Well, what would we call it? The Crash Collection.
The Crash Collection.
Yeah. So I don't know. Could be part of it. So Brandon, VR is going to be a huge part of this conference, being that the PlayStation VR coming out this October.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to say 50% of the stage time, but at least a third.
Yeah.
Maybe more dedicated to VR.
Huge.
So one of my big theories is one of the big VR things is going to be No Man's Sky compatible with PlayStation VR in one way or another. They've been badgering Sean Murray about this, the founder of Hello Games, one of the big leads on the game, about it. He's been very coy, but he's been smiling, saying we're very interested in VR. That means something, okay? A wink and a smile. Come on.
It's subtle.
So I'm thinking some kind of PlayStation VR compatibility, and not only that, I think we're going to see a lot of VR features in games.
And what was just rumored, confirmed, the Call of Duty, right?
So there's going to be some kind of Call of Duty VR, not a VR game, but some kind of feature or experience
type thing.
And I think that's going to be a big thing. I think that you could even maybe see like, hey, what's that game with the bird dog? Last Guardian. I think we're going to see a Last Guardian VR feature in the game. Maybe you can see what the scale, like what he would look like if he was, with you. I don't think you're going to be able to play the game in VR.
What if the PlayStation Experience demo was the VR?
So that giant promo thing,
the where you could interact with it and stuff. So.
I'm serious. It could be something like that.
No, it would be really cool. And you know what? While we're on the topic of VR, I think something that I predict is going to happen, and we talked a lot about Sony.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you for a second about Microsoft.
Okay.
Are we ready for that? So we got all this stuff about the PlayStation 4K, and now we're getting rumors about the Scorpio, which I don't personally think is going to happen until next year. But I've also been hearing things while Microsoft is flirting with this whole Windows 10 idea that there might be a partnership announced or teased with Oculus.
Well, they do already have somewhat of a partnership with Oculus. I don't think it's out yet, but you are going to be able to stream Xbox One games and play them in this big theater mode on your Oculus. But I think it's going to be
partnership.
A way bigger partnership. Yeah. I think it works out beneficially for both of them. Oculus obviously being the headset, Xbox being the box you run it on. With all the new power and how VR is just continually getting bigger and bigger, I think this is going to be a lock-in for sure.
We'll see.
Now, as far as Microsoft concerned, we don't have as many predictions just because we're not as necessarily well-versed on all the Xbox stuff, but I'm thinking, they're talking about all this Windows 10 partnership and stuff like that. I think we're going to see Master Chief Collection on Windows.
Which would be great for a lot of people.
Not only that, I'll take you one further. Halo 5 coming to Windows.
Excuse me.
They've been talking about, cross-platform, stuff like that. They got to put their money where their mouth is. Halo 5.
Yeah, I understand why they haven't done it thus far, but now that they're blurring the lines between consoles and, Windows, that's the next logical step. Halo is one of their biggest IPs.
Exactly.
Let's get that Windows love.
Now, Brandon, there's an elephant in the room. I don't know if you can see him, but he's here. And that's at this Bethesda conference, what the rumor is right now.
And that is that there is going to be a Skyrim remastered. Or some sort of something. Okay. Skyrim something. Okay, re-release, whatever. So this is huge for me and for a lot of people. Super exciting because I haven't played this game since 360 and it was one of my most loved games of all time. So if this happens, I'll pay all the monies.
I think this Bethesda conference is going to be a real home run just like last year. Especially we're hearing rumors about Wolfenstein 2.
Which is great as well.
Not something I know a lot about, but Prey 2 is rumored to be brought back, re-announced.
Rekindled.
It just seems like it could be very interesting. And I would hope that we're going to see the next line of Fallout 4 DLC
Which would be great.
Would be very interesting. They said they're doing a lot more. So I'm assuming we're going to get some kind of preview at this Bethesda conference. So that really pretty much wraps it up as far as our big hitters. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I had predicted earlier this week has already been announced. I was going to say Watch Dogs 2 this year, already been totally unveiled.
Horizon delayed.
Horizon has been delayed. The Persona 5 release date is out.
Valentine's Day for America?
2017. So I'm thinking hopefully maybe we'll see that Persona 5 on the E3 stage.
Just like last year,
for PlayStation.
This year Bethesda's going to have a Dovahkiin shelter where you could build...
Dovahkiin shelter? Dude. Fallout shelter. That would be something. That would be really cool.
Instead of Fallout...
So that about wraps up our E3 predictions. If you want a more extensive look on our E3 predictions, check out our podcast Adventure Mode, our most recent episode, all E3 predictions. It's down in the description below, so make sure you check that out. What do you think is going to happen at E3 this year? Do you think that, maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 will show up? Do you think maybe they're making a new Gex game? Do you remember Gex?
I don't. Do you think that Shuhei Yoshida is going to do a backflip on stage and then tell you that you can change your PlayStation Network name?
That's not Brandon. You had me maybe at the backflip, but
that is the only way that it
changes. Just
that's the only way that
crazy.
It's ever going to happen is if he does a backflip and then announces.
Could be. So make sure you leave a comment about what you think is what's going to happen, and if you like what you've heard with here and Brandon and I, make sure you subscribe, like the video. All right. Well, we're gonna have a bunch of E3 stuff this year, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's gonna be great. Until next time, see you guys later.